They do everything big in Texas, including $1 million on the line tonight. The ultimate final. American Flag Football League, the pros versus the amateurs. A look inside the locker room. Jacoby Jones wants to eat that $1 million. It's all coming up next live on NFL Network.
Flag football is an enduring version of America's game, but you have never seen it quite like this. In the American Flag Football League, the game is familiar with elite talent, 7-on-7 matchups, and fast-paced dynamic action.
Love this game.
And tonight, a compelling season builds to its dramatic conclusion.
Jackpot. That is how you draw it up.
This tournament began with 128 teams, the best of the best. And with $1 million prize at hand,
Give us that money, man!
Only 2 teams remain. Team Godspeed, with an embarrassment of Olympic sprinting riches.
Perfect.
And quarterbacked by 10-year NFL vet, Seneca Wallace.
You're going to get an encore, that's for sure.
Team Fighting Cancer, the 5-time flag national champions. An inspirational squad driven by something bigger than the game.
To fight for the people that has cancer, to show them that the struggle is not only theirs, it's ours as well.
2 teams are left standing. One will be champion. This is the American Flag Football League Ultimate Final.
It's the American Flag Football League on NFL Network pregame show presented by LG. We are in Houston, Texas. $1 million on the line. Fighting Cancer comes out of New Orleans. They've lost 1 game in the last 5 years. Godspeed, a team made up of former NFL players and world-class track athletes, and they are gunning for that $1 million. So glad you can join us. Bob Papa along with former NFL quarterback Dan Orlovsky. And Dan, it's not often you play with a $1 million winner-take-all first-place prize. Who's the pressure on, Fighting Cancer or Godspeed, the former NFL players team?
I truly think it's Fighting Cancer. It's almost Mayweather-McGregor, and Fighting Cancer's Mayweather, and the pros, they're McGregor. They've got to go into Fighting Cancer's ring and into their world. This Fighting Cancer team plays flag football 7-on-7 every single week. They're representing a massive community across our country. And don't forget, the pros, they're used to playing for millions of dollars under the bright lights of national television. Fighting Cancer plays for $1,000 a weekend. They've never played under these lights with this much money and under this much pressure.
Godspeed, let's start with them. They've got guys that made it to the Pro Bowl. They've got guys that competed in the Olympics. Why were they able to come out of the pro division and really understand the 7-on-7 game?
The biggest thing is their defense and really their secondary. They've got a bunch of guys that played defensive back in the NFL, and if you went to an NFL practice, you would listen to coaches yelling at DBs, run to the football, rally, tag off. Well, longtime DB James Ahedebo for Godspeed kind of brought that mentality over. They're bringing a bunch of guys to the football where if they miss a flag, there's a bunch of different bodies there.
Meanwhile, their quarterback, Seneca Wallace, this 7-on-7 flag game suits him perfectly.
He's been remarkable to watch, whether it's getting blitzed and getting the ball out of his hands from that West Coast offense he grew up in, or pushing the ball downfield when shots have presented themselves. He's been flat out the driver of this offense with all their different weapons.
Meanwhile, Fighting Cancer out of New Orleans, they are experts at 7-on-7, but they had to come through a lot of teams that are really good at it. Why did they get through?
They've handled the variables of the flag the best. They've got guys on offense, receiver-wise, that are great in improvisation. They've got guys on defense, when they get to a flag, they do not miss. And then they got a few guys that look like NFL football players. Darius Logo Davis, this big, strong athlete that looks like a defensive end in the NFL. He's got this huge arm that sometimes they just pitch it sideways to him and let it launch downfield to some of their speed, athletic guys. That's been really impressive for them. Also, Brandon McCray, another guy that looks like an NFL football player, is this guy for them that he's a stat sheet stuffer. He leads their team in receptions. He leads their team in touchdowns. He leads their team in interceptions, and no matter where he is on the field, he's got to be a focal point for your defense.
Yeah, and he comes up with the clutch plays, especially in the close games. McCray always seems to come up huge. But let's not forget who runs the engine for Fighting Cancer, and that's their quarterback, Darrell Housh Doucette.
Absolute electric, whether you call him Vince Young or Kenny Stabler or Houston's own Deshaun Watson. This guy's been a pleasure to watch and absolute electric. He's got this killer attitude, and the whole team runs through it.
All right, we're getting set for the start of this Ultimate Championship. Let's take you down to the field and Kay Adams.
Guys, the excitement down here is at a 10. You guys had an excellent breakdown of what's going to happen on the field. I got to tell you, the amateur team Fighting Cancer showed up cool, calm, a confident attitude as always. It's Godspeed that showed up a little bit differently today, taking things seriously, not joking. No dancing from Jacoby Jones. They are in it to win it with $1 million at stake. Now, it's going to get serious on the field. How about the excitement and the party on the sideline? Take a look at Deshaun Watson, just chopping it up casually with Michael Vick. I'm going to get to talk to both of them, see how Deshaun Watson's feeling, and so on. Back to you guys. Party down here.
Looking forward to it, Kay. And, you know, the pros all had their names on the backs of their jerseys. Fighting Cancer as they came into the locker room tonight. Guess what? New jerseys for the Ultimate Championship. They got their names on the back. They'd like their names on $1 million. It's coming up tonight.
The American Flag Football League, U.S. Open of Football, is brought to you by Bud Light, America's favorite light lager.
We are back in Houston, getting ready to start the ultimate final, the American Flag Football League Championship, Fighting Cancer and Godspeed. Let's meet the teams. Here's our public address announcer, Gene Honda.
Welcome to BBVA Compass Stadium for tonight's AFFL Ultimate Final Championship game, pitting the America's Bracket Champion against the Pro Bracket Champion to decide who will be the ultimate winner and the 2018 U.S. Open of Football Champion. Let's get ready to meet tonight's competitors.
How about that? Pass intercepted. Huge play there.
Jackpot. What a beautiful ball.
Please welcome to the field your America's Bracket Champion, Fighting Cancer.
Hey, I was made to bounce right back. Who you know you'll come around like that? The toe drag swag right there. Next level. I stay so patient. Waited, got it right out of the mud. I know they hate it, but faked it like they ain't know who I was.
Jacoby Jones goes to work.
Oh, mom, I scored a touchdown. To the top flow. No breaks in this. It's all faithfulness. Now you tell me what I gotta stop for. My grind a ticket, no lotto. Can't copy swag is on lock though. Built like that, how could they not know? Just getting started and we got more.
Godspeed.
Pretty cool introduction for Godspeed. And fighting cancer, you get a look at Godspeed. They'll be in the black. You see guys like Jacoby Jones on the roster, Justin Forsett. Let's send it down to the sideline and Kay Adams.
You're going to see here at the flag football game, and we have Deshaun Watson, Houston Texans quarterback, and the crowd goes wild. Deshaun, how are you feeling? Everybody wants to know.
I feel great. I'm getting ready for next week when we report to Green Bar, and I'm going to be full go.
Like training camp great, or like I'm going to throw 50 touchdowns great?
Both. I'm going 50 plus, so I'm going for it all.
Now, your Instagram bio says Godspeed in it. You tag all of your photos with Godspeed. Are you trying to say something because the pro team is named that?
Of course, it's always Godspeed. So, hopefully Godspeed do show a little thing today, but, the underdogs might show up today too.
How's this going to go out here tonight?
I don't know. I hope for a good game, but I don't know. The underdogs might bring something out, so.
I got to ask you and DeAndre Hopkins hit this flag football field. What does it look like?
Oh, we're scoring 6. It's going to be a lot of firecrackers, a lot of touchdowns, a lot of points.
All right, and behind you, Michael Vick, I know a role model of yours, a guy you looked up to growing up. How cool is it to chop it up with him on the sideline?
It's always cool to chop it up with one of my idols. I've been looking up to Vick since I was a little kid, so I had the cleats, had the jersey, had everything, and for him to play in Atlanta, my hometown, so it was cool. So it's always dope to get the knowledge and advice.
Enjoy the ultimate final here in Houston.
Appreciate it.
Where they battle for $1 million. Playing for fighting cancer. From Plant City, Florida, number 1, Jason Brown.
Hey, Mom, Grandma.
From Tampa, Florida, number 2, Turhan Glover.
Oh, yeah. Love you, Grandma.
From New Orleans, Louisiana, number 3, Brandon McCray. From Tampa, Florida, number 4, Darius Davis. From Orlando, Florida, number 5, Nate Webster. From Tampa, Florida, number 6, DeAndre Franklin. From New Orleans, Louisiana, number 7, Darrell Housh Doucette. From Beaufort, South Carolina, number 8, Terrence Bunting.
Carolina boy, cornbread Fred, Mama, I love you.
From New Orleans, Louisiana, number 9, Robert Myers.
Roberto.
From New Orleans, Louisiana, number 10, Charles Carmouche. From Baldwin, Louisiana, number 11, Harry Coleman.
Stand up, man.
And from New Orleans, Louisiana, number 12, Nathaniel Brown. Fighting cancer is coached by Steven Johnson from New Orleans, Louisiana. Ryan Baer from Parkland, Florida. And Rusty Baroy from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Best in the world. Best in the world. What he said?
Now let's meet the stars from Godspeed. From Irving, Texas, number 1, Jeremy Warner. From Houston, Texas, via Detroit, Michigan, number 2, Alan Ball. From Vallejo, California, number 4, Javed Best.
You know what time it is.
From Albuquerque, New Mexico, number 5, Jaron Solomon. From Stockton, California, number 7, Lavelle Hawkins. From New Orleans, Louisiana, number 13, Jacoby Jones. From Sacramento, California, number 15, Seneca Wallace. From Upper Marlboro, Maryland, number 26, Josh Wilson.
Right here.
From Arlington, Texas, number 29, Justin Forsett. From Jacksonville, Florida, number 31, Charles James. From Amherst, Maryland, number 32, James Iadigbo. And from Chicago, Illinois, number 81, Jason Avant. Godspeed is coached by a former NFL veteran from Fairfield, California, Desmond Bishop. And by four-time Olympic gold medal winner from Dallas, Texas, Michael Johnson.
So the introductions have been made, the handshakes and the acknowledgments. Now it's time to play football with $1 million on the line. Fighting Cancer getting ready for tonight's Ultimate Championship. He's a middle school teacher by day, but a flag football star by night. Darius Logo Davis in the middle of that circle as we welcome you back to Houston, Texas. No kicking in the American Flag Football League. There's throw-offs. To explain more on how the game gets started, here's our referee, Frank Rogers.
Gentlemen, congratulations on making the ultimate final. In lieu of a coin toss, we will have a long toss. The winner of the long toss will choose offense or defense for the half. Any questions? Fighting Cancer, you will throw first.
Thank you, sir. I just have to hand it to you. Yeah, you can run up. To 20 or 25? 20.
Darius Davis handles the throw-offs for Fighting Cancer, and he can throw it and drop it in places that create field position for his team, especially on the throws. Look at this throw that comes to rest at about the 11-yard line.
Godspeed, it's your toss.
Darius Logo Davis threw it 69 yards. Guessing Jason Avant doesn't have that in the bag.
Fighting Cancer won the toss. They've elected to play defense in the first half. Godspeed will have choice of direction.
Let's take a look at the rules for American flag football. 7-on-7, 12-player rosters, 2 30-minute halves, running clock until the final 5 minutes of regulation. Field is divided into 4 25-yard boxes. You get a first down when you get to the next box. There's a go clock. The quarterback has 4 seconds to release the ball or the play is blown dead. The defense has to wait 2 seconds before they rush. No blocking, kicking, or fumbles. Teams have 5 blitzes per half to use. 95 degrees feels like 105 with the humidity at 49%. Dan Orlovsky, Fighting Cancer, elected to take the ball in the second half. Jacoby Jones, who returned to kickoff for a touchdown in the Super Bowl, waits deep. Darius Davis is a master for Fighting Cancer at the throw-off, where teams wind up getting pinned inside their own 25, which means on that very first possession, you've got to get to midfield off a throw-off, creating a long field to start your day.
And it's an absolutely weapon that he can throw it so high, let his guys run down there, get flags pulled, and like you said, have to go so far in that first possession.
Ooh, he makes a mistake there. He throws it out of the back of the end zone, which is not what Fighting Cancer normally does.
Handle business. Have a day. Let's go.
Let's go to work.
Let's go. Let's move it. Let's go.
Remember what I said. So first one out the gate, we're going to test him right now. Some trips right, I'm a motion for a set out into the slot. You got a shallow cross. And outside guys, if you can't beat them, just run a 10-yard stop route. I want them right.
Dan, I would think that Seneca Wallace and Godspeed love the fact that they're getting the ball first.
No doubt, and you can hear Seneca telling his guys, let's go see if we can take a shot over the top of these defenders and see if they're ready for this moment.
There's the shot, but he overthrows Jacoby Jones. Excellent coverage by Harry Coleman. So as you watch the American Flag Football League, you see the go clock. In 2 seconds, the defense can rush. If the ball is not released in 4 seconds. The play is over.
Play 3. Let's go.
I'm sorry. Yep.
And that's really going to be more impactful for the pros than the amateurs, because Seneca's used to bodies tell him to get the ball out of his hand rather than a noise.
Nice catch there by Jason Avant, the former Philadelphia Eagle.
Watch it now. Here we go.
And this is something that I think is going to be the pros' advantage. They're actually running systems, not just plays. They put a guy to the flat to the right of Seneca to get a defender to jump up, and then Avant just goes over the top with a nice little corner route. Seneca's thrown the ball so well to the sideline the past couple of weeks.
So they have 2 downs to make 11 yards. And a false start. So here's one of the interesting components of flag football. It automatically becomes 4th down. It's not as if they mark 5 yards off and you get to replay 3rd down. So now they've got a decision, and Godspeed is going to do, in flag football vernacular, throw the ball off, meaning punt.
And that's one of those things that's so important, these little intricacies of this league, is the NFL guys are used to penalties, still on 3rd down having a chance to convert. Now, in the American Flag Football League, it's very much so damning to your offense to have that penalty and loss of down.
TJ Glover, one of the deep men for fighting cancer. Flag gets pulled nicely by Godspeed, and here comes quarterback Darrell Housh Doucette.
That's stay ball. That's stay ball. Hey, curl.
Hey.
TJ!
We need one. He missing the flag. He missing the flag.
Jason! D. Hand up. Come on, sit. D, you can go.
Oh, it's yours.
Yeah.
That might be yours on throw off.
Dead.
Yeah, that was yours on throw off.
Any touchdowns over 50 yards are 7 points. And this is a 1st and short. Because of the throw off, they only need 6 yards for a 1st down. Carmouche takes it upfield, tried the pitch. Once the ball hits the ground, it's dead. There are no fumbles in flag football.
This is interesting. Fighting Cancer starts off putting Davis at the quarterback position. Whoever catches that first snap in this league is the designated quarterback. Hand it off to Housh to turn off that go clock. Now he becomes a true dual threat, running or throwing the football.
So for Fighting Cancer, they need to get to midfield for their next 1st down. Housh tried to lateral the ball, and it was blocked by Lavelle Hawkins. So the pro guys doing a little scouting. Knock it down.
Yeah, kill that ball right away. But again, you're seeing the advantage that Fighting Cancer has, getting the ball into Housh's hands and not allowing or not having to have him sit back there and just be a thrower, utilizing that athleticism.
Lavelle Hawkins, a 4th round pick of the Tennessee Titans in 2008. 2nd and 9 for Fighting Cancer. Housh throws it back to Davis, and his pass intercepted by Hawkins.
And here's this Godspeed secondary again, stepping up with another big turnover. This is going to be their 7th takeaway in the last 3 weeks for this defense.
And unlike going against the other flag teams, Fighting Cancer hasn't gone against a secondary of former NFL players that can close gaps.
And they said, listen, into the boundary, we're going to do a little bit of unique coverages with our corners, and you see it right there.
Wallace taking a shot up top for Javid Best, and the pass knocked away beautifully by Jason Brown.
And the Godspeed offense coming out very specific plan-wise, trying to take shots down the field to Javid Best, an absolute speed guy. Nice job by Brown locating the ball, turning his body around, and getting a hand on it because Best is there for that catch.
And it was worth taking a shot for Godspeed because they only need 5 yards for a first down. Off the interception, it's to that next square that you have to get to. So why not take a shot for a 7-point touchdown on 1st and 5?
You good? Right there.
Wallace takes the completion to Avant, and he's got a fresh set of downs at the 36 of Fighting Cancer. Jason Avant, 346 catches in his career, over 4,000 yards and 13 touchdowns.
He just routed up Brandon McCray with a little bit of a double move out in. Beautiful route by Avant, and he's been wearing out the inside of those hashes.
Wallace throws the out to Avant. Steps out at the 10-yard line, gain of 26 for Godspeed.
Seneca's actually looking to the right.
Play two, come on.
Lavelle Hawkins doesn't win, so he comes back to his trusty guy who's been the past couple weeks in Avant. Beautiful toe touch on the sidelines.
So 1st and goal at the 10 for Godspeed and Seneca Wallace.
Good, perfect.
They run a blitz, gets it off, pass goes incomplete.
Defense blitz down to play.
5 blitzes per half per team.
And that's the first time in the past couple of weeks we've seen Seneca not really have a plan for getting blitzed. That ball actually, he decides to just throw it away, waste it, because Jason Brown at the defensive back did a nice job of cutting underneath the receiver, Javid Best. But Seneca's got to have a little bit better plan for blitz down here.
Watson right there for a set.
They blitz again. Wallace gets it away. Pass is caught by Javid Best. Flag gets pulled by Brandon McCray.
You can see Seneca can still throw it. Look at that ball spinning. The thing that's been really impressive about Javid Best, he was a running back at Cal, a running back in the NFL. He's shown some really good receiving skills, and you can see it going up and making that catch right there.
Javid Best, the 30th overall selection in the 2010 draft by Detroit. Concussion short-circuited his career. Represented St. Lucia in the 2016 Olympics in the 100 meters.
Yep, I see him. I see him. Huh? You good?
3rd and goal, they blitz again. And the pass incomplete.
Fighting Cancer playing a little bit of mind game to Seneca. They put 2 guys on each side of the center. Which one are we going to blitz with, Seneca? Seneca having a little bit of hesitation off that blitz.
All right, so we're going bunch right. We're going Javid Best right. Here we go. Bunch right, Javid Best right. Come here. You're on that side. Let's go. You're here. Perfect, perfect.
Fighting Cancer blitzes again. Flag on the play, and then Best throws it. Now up to check on the flag.
That's fucking offense, man. That shit dead. That shit dead. That shit dead. That shit dead.
They should have to have a guy on the left side of the center there in formation.
We have a turnover on downs.
So Godspeed moved the ball nicely, but they can't get it in the end zone. Fighting Cancer throws an interception on their first offensive possession. No score here in the first half with $1 million on the line. Back here in Houston, AFL Flag Football League Ultimate Final. No score between Fighting Cancer and Godspeed. And Chad Ochocinco, whose team Ocho was eliminated by Godspeed in the Pro Brackets final, 28-12. Checking it out, seeing who's going to win $1 million as we check in with Kay.
I'm checking out the sidelines as usual. Came upon the Matthew family. Tyrann Mathieu has 2 boys. I saw you tweet the American Flag Football League saying, how do I get tickets? What brings you here today?
Well, I'm just trying to, support these guys. Obviously, it's another way for guys to stay in touch with the game. And so I look forward to when I retire to possibly get my own team. So.
Are we going to see you out there playing wide receiver at some point?
Oh, for sure. I might play quarterback. You never know.
What about your kids? You brought your sons here. How much are they enjoying flag football?
They enjoy it. I think they like soccer more, but we're in a soccer stadium, so it's all good.
We love having you here. I talked to Deshaun Watson. What would he look like with one of his wideouts, like DeAndre Hopkins, just out here on this field?
He definitely put up numbers. He'd probably break every record. Nobody can compete with him. So, he's a great talent for sure.
You're a new member to the Houston Texans family. What are you looking forward to most? How are you gelling with the guys?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Just really want to compete. It's a fresh start for me. New city, new teammates. All those guys have embraced me really well. So, just want to put my hand in the pile and help those guys.
Enjoy tonight. Stars on stars here on the sidelines, guys.
Yeah, the Honey Badger drafted by the Arizona Cardinals. He's an LSU product, so, he's got to have some feelings for Team Cancer. And Housh, and they're back on offense. And Housh goes quick with the first pass play to Brandon the Goat McCray.
And McCray is this guy for this team, 2-time semi-pro MVP. That is this stat sheet stuffer. One of the things for fighting cancer is they only have to get to the 25-yard line because it was a turnover of downs.
Again, they go underneath. They can't get the flag from Bunting. And finally get it out. There's a flag on the play as well. Let's see.
Free down? All right, let me ask the ref.
Defense. By rule, after a first down marker, they'll have a free down to the 50.
So they're going to get a free down as Bunting made himself elusive.
He's actually known as the dip king, and he kind of does a little bit of a dip spin combo right there, and then a little bit of a flag drift, and we talked about that, Bob. The ability to pull flags and make guys miss is huge.
And I'll explain why the penalty was on Justin Forsett. In flag football, you cannot grab the belt, the jersey, or any part of the gear to slow down the offensive player. That's a lateral. Davis avoids the flag pull, but then his pass sails incomplete. But they had a free play. There's another flag on the play on the near sideline.
Legal contact. Defense. Spot foul. First down.
It's interesting because Fighting Cancer, talking to them pregame, said, we want to just play our game. We're just going to do what we've done. This is very new, getting the ball to Logo Davis as much as they've had, almost making him play quarterback. I want to see the ball in Housh's hands just being natural.
So because of the defensive penalty, it's a 1st and 4.
Over the right side, Spill.
Do they take a shot up top and go for the 7-point touchdown? There's the pitch to Housh, but the flag gets pulled.
And that's part of their offense. The good teams, and obviously Fighting Cancer playing for this ultimate final is one of the best, utilize that lateral as part of their offense. It's almost an inside hook and lateral. Davis already knows when I catch this ball, I'm kicking it to Housh. And it's part of their offense. They're going to build it in play after play.
And a nice play by former NFL defensive back Josh Wilson, getting that flag pulled.
Wilson actually leads this defense in flag pull, so he's been all over the field.
Doucette works the middle, and the pass incomplete. He tried to squeeze it into a tight window. Hey, how about Nate Burleson, a colleague at NFL Network? He's got the feed up, watching our opening on camera.
Seneca was actually talking last week that he's going to try and grab Nate, have a little bit of retirement, see if he can add him into his team next year to even get better.
With those feet up, I don't think he's going to be playing.
Go Phil, go Phil. 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 Rob, hot. Hot Phil. Make him throw it. There you go. Make him throw it. Get out. Keep it, D. Go, go.
Davis with the catch. So that'll set up 1st and goal from the 18-yard line. You surprised that Godspeed's not blitzing at all?
No, because I think they love all their unique NFL coverages they can run. But this is what I want to see Fighting Cancer do, is just get the ball in Housh's hands, because if you're going to blitz him, he's going to light you up, and he's a good enough thrower to run their offense.
Doesn't it feel like, though, the windows are a lot smaller for Fighting Cancer and throwing the ball? Doucette for Carmouche, who drops it off the fingertips. He's their deep threat. There was a busted coverage, but Carmouche couldn't reel it in. The former LSU basketball player.
They play a little bit of trap coverage to the field where Hawkins sits, and they try to get one of those hole shots that Carmouche had 2 weeks ago, and it's just off his fingertips. But again, an example of how well Housh can actually throw the football. They'll come back to that. That's also going to make a safety like Alan Ball play a little wider now because they took that shot.
Eighth play of the drive coming up, 2nd and goal for Fighting Cancer, no score. Doucette works the seam, and they get the flag pulled on Robert Hollywood Myers at about the 4-yard line.
Godspeed playing kind of a Tampa 2 where that Mike linebacker is going to run deep, and Myers does a good job at just replacing him. And we see almost a missed flag there results into a touchdown, but that flag pull is a big, big deal.
Forsett pulled the flag after Wilson missed it.
Hey, 10. Yeah.
Call him.
They blitz Housh. And the pass incomplete. Tried to drop it over the top to TJ Glover. You see those DBs close on the ball?
Yeah, a little bit different than playing some of the America's teams. Watch Alan Ball come over here. He's a big, rangy safety. Close that gap. Past couple weeks, that's a touchdown for Housh. It's a little different when you're playing a guy who played in the NFL for 9 years.
What, you straight behind the back, your boy? All right, we can go with that.
I'm talking about coming behind the back. 20. Because when they roll that way, when you look that way.
All right. So cool. Go straight like slant on the move.
You blitzing him here on 4th and goal?
I'm going to do exactly what they just did, double blitz them. You know, it's Fighting Cancer has been so good in the red zone. They're already 0 for 1. They've got to capitalize here.
They don't blitz. And the pass knocked away. Nearly a 4-second violation. Charles James, who played for the Houston Texans, the New York Giants, and the Ravens, knocks it away on 4th and goal.
There's that Godspeed defense. One of the things, these guys know how to plaster in coverage. Those DBs are all over Housh's options to throw the ball to. And it's been a strength of theirs for the past couple weeks, and it's shown up tonight.
You take a look at the Godspeed defensive backs, and you take a look at the experience that these guys have had. We mentioned Charles James. You've got Alan Ball, and then you got a guy like James Ahedebo, who won a Super Bowl with the Ravens, played for the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Wallace to Avant. And a flag pull at the 21. Gain of 17 to Jason Avant.
Back to thinking about those Godspeed defensive backs. There's 23 years of NFL experience back there, and it's on display. Jason Avant is one of these receivers that has been so good for Seneca, and we see it again on an out route.
Yep. What I got? Peek Forsett. Huh? Yeah. Go. Go Forsett. Go.
It's good because look, that cover too. I gotta respect his vertical.
2nd and 4. Take the completion to Avant the first down. Here's Doucette pulled the flag. He plays quarterback and defense for Fighting Cancer.
Great job. Great. I want to go trips right, sail with 10-yard stop routes on the outside. Trips right, sail with 10-yard stop routes on the outside. You're in the middle. You're in the middle. In the middle. Avant, get him.
All right, Dan, decipher for our viewers.
Okay, so he's saying trips right, so there's going to be 3 receivers to his right, and then sail. They're going to have a post, by one guy during the middle of the field, and then a corner route probably by Avant. And then they're going to have a stop route if he gets some free access throws. There it is to Javid Best right there.
Spins away from the flagpole and finally pulled out by Jason Brown at the 45.
And that's why Seneca's given those stop routes on the outside. If those corners are going to play soft, he's just going to take easy completions. You'll see it from the replay here, that corner bailing. Get the ball to my hands, to my playmaker's hands. That's what Seneca's done so well.
Fighting Cancer was upset because they thought that Javid Best flag guarded, which is an instinct that NFL players are used to, warding off the defender with their off arm.
And we've seen that a bunch over the last couple of weeks out of the pros.
Wallace, Avant, flag pulled by DeAndre Franklin. Gain of 19.
We're going to call this a return route. We're going to put our eyes to Avant here. He's going to come all the way across the field with his eyes to make him think he's crossing the field, and then he returns back where he came from. It's a really nice job. Look, he gets that defender to cross over, and he goes back up where he came from. Beautiful route by Jason Avant.
So 2nd and 1 for Godspeed in a scoreless first half. Both teams have threatened but failed.
Good.
Pass completed for a first down to Lavelle Hawkins. So now it sets up 4 downs to score.
And the red zone is so huge in flag because there's no points for field goals like there is in the NFL. Both these teams have been premier in the red zone. It's going to come up huge tonight.
Just look at me. You have a corner route. Stick it to the post and then get to the corner high angle. Just out. You guys are in the slot. In the middle. We're good. Shot. Right there. Oh, gotcha.
Wallace takes the check down to Hawkins. The flag gets pulled by Housh right away. Get ready for a new season of fantasy football. Get your league back together and sign up for free today. Go to NFL.com/fantasy. Here in the American Flag Football League, they put up some fantasy-like numbers.
And we've seen it. I was really impressed right there by Housh playing corner, making Seneca take that check down.
So it'll be ball's on the 12-yard line for Godspeed. Your thoughts on the early action of the way Fighting Cancer has handled the speed and the pressure of playing for $1 million tonight?
I think they've certainly settled in. Now, it's unlike them to not be better in the red zone, but they're playing against a little bit of a different animal tonight. But they've settled in. If you're them, you've got to feel good going. We got 8 minutes to go in the first half, and we are in a tie ball game. Obviously, they've played better, just not scored.
What about on the other side? Godspeed's moved the ball, but they don't have any points to show for it. Do you think they're getting in a rhythm, or is the pressure building up? We got to get a lead on these guys.
At some point, they've got to feel like they've got to jump up and apply a little pressure. They took some shots early. Seneca missed them. So I think that they've got to feel like, guys, we got to get some points on the board here and put some pressure on Fighting Cancer.
Perfect. Watch it right here. Watch it right here. Shot.
No blitz from Fighting Cancer. Flag on the play as Avant scores the touchdown. Now, do we have an illegal pick?
Illegal block. Offense. Previous spot. Down counts.
I think it's on Jacoby Jones running a little pick play.
Put our eyes on Jacoby Jones right here. He's going to run and just run into the defender right there. Avant's going to try and run a wheel right underneath him, and Jacoby's got to avoid this defender right here. Just keep going on your route. You've done what you were supposed to do. Get that defender to stutter his feet. It would have been a touchdown for Godspeed. You've got to avoid that contact.
Again, no yardage marked off. You lose the down. So now it's 3rd and goal at the 12.
Huge.
Wallace with the completion of Best. And Jason Brown pulls the flag at the 3. So this is the second time Godspeed has had a 4th and goal situation.
I don't want to do that right now. We got to get one. All right, let's push it. All right, I'm going to go roll left. Listen. We're going to roll left. You're going to run sprint left option. We're going to run sprint left option. You got to return out of it, Jacoby. Let's go. Drag with me, Hawk. Drag with me, Jock.
You hear Seneca going sprint left option, then he's going to sprint out, try to get Avant going to the front pylon.
Thinking the blitz is coming to the back of the end zone, and the pass incomplete, intended for Jacoby Jones.
The defense blitzed. That's their 5th and final blitz. We have immediate timeout.
So Fighting Cancer, well, they're bending, but they're not breaking. 4th down attempt, slightly deflected. Jacoby Jones couldn't reel it in. No score in the first half.
I hope you came to win, 'cause I'm never gonna stop till I cop that ring. To the top I climb. To the top I climb. All the way to the top I climb.
Back here in Houston, no score. Fighting Cancer and Godspeed, $1 million on the line. And Dan, Fighting Cancer did a nice job on defense on the 4th and goal.
An example of them playing real coverages. So Godspeed's going to try to take Avant up here, put him to the pylon, and get Jacoby back there almost like another pick. Watch both of these defenders trade off responsibilities. They play zone like an in-and-out combo. Look at those defenders trade off responsibility and put our eyes on this defender doing a beautiful job of getting depth, and that forces Seneca to make almost an impossibly perfect throw. Fighting Cancer doing a really good job of having a scheme that we see on Sundays and executing it.
DeAndre Franklin was that defender that you talked about that got that depth and just tipped that ball enough.
And that depth was huge, because if he stays flat, that ball's going over his head for a touchdown, an easy throw.
Davis hands it off to Doucette, who's going to do a little running. Tries the lateral. Anytime the ball hits the ground, the play is dead, as we send it down to Kay Adams.
I'm here with Texans QB Deshaun Watson here on the sidelines. Now, you didn't know what to think before the game, but I need you to assess the quarterback play so far. Let's start with Seneca Wallace for Godspeed.
No, he's been doing a good job. I see he's going for his tight end a lot. The tight end is it's a lot of man coverage, so he's getting one-on-one and doing a lot of out routes. But he's doing a good job of, moving the ball down the field. But it's, in that red zone where both teams is getting, stopped. So the first one scored might be the winner.
They are allergic to the red zone and the end zone, at least for now. How about Housh on the other side?
Housh is actually doing a good job, too. He's competing with, like you said, the former professionals. He's slinging the ball. The guys are catching and they're making plays afterwards. So you just find an open guy. That's the deal of playing quarterback. You find an open guy and let the guys work.
Deshaun, we've got some serious trash talkers on both sides of the ball. We got Jacoby Jones, Charles James. Who's the biggest trash talker on the Texans?
On the Texans, I would probably say might be Jadeveon Clowney, but he don't really say much, though. I think this year it will be Kevin Johnson for sure.
It'll be Kevin Johnson or Tyrann Mathieu, I'm sure, is in the running, right?
I think he might say a little something.
From time to time. I see you have your offensive lineman here protecting you even on the sideline. Guys, I'm not a threat. I'm just hanging out over here. Is it weird, guys? Hey, offensive lineman, get over here. We got the Texans O-line. There's no offensive line position on the field. How do you feel about that?
I feel like we'll have to be some sort of like jump ball tight ends or something, because you always need big guys out there. I mean, I feel like, you can't eliminate 5 of us, right?
Trying to get rid of y'all.
That's right. It's a bad deal, but it's a great league, and it's really fun to watch.
Love that you guys are here supporting American flag football in Houston, Texas. Guys, back to you.
Well, you think with $1 million on the line, things getting a little chippy? How about Josh Wilson laying out Doucette on the run? He didn't even try to pull the flag.
It's 25 years of playing tackle football coming out right there.
Defense, number 29. The player must sit out 2 plays. The defense by rule will play 1 man down.
It's actually Justin Forsett. Let's see. They got the wrong guy. Well, that was Josh Wilson who knocked down Doucette. Forsett stays in the game, and now they get Josh Wilson out of the game.
Number 26.
Well, Josh Wilson had 459 tackles and 5.5 sacks in his career.
Played for a long time in the NFL, but this is a huge penalty, because now you're looking at the Godspeed defense playing with 6 defenders against an electric offense.
Carmouche got a lot of room. And Hawkins attempted the flag pull. Gain of 20.
Housh has done a nice job in open space of making some guys miss, but if you're the Godspeed defense right now, you've got to be thinking, we just sit back in zone, hang on for another play.
It is now first down to the 50 by rule.
That's right, that was a free down because of the penalty on the previous play, so it's still first down.
And with this Godspeed defense being a man down and Fighting Cancer only need to get 4 yards, I would think they would want to take a shot here to see if we can get a 7-point touchdown.
Well, look at the coverage. It's back. Housh hits McCray, and the flag gets pulled. So that's the 2 plays, and now Forsett can come back on the field.
The player that was removed from the field may now re-enter the field.
Dan, you know, you think of Tom Brady and Peyton Manning masters at scoring at the end of the half, knowing they get the ball to start the next. This is a big sequence because Fighting Cancer gets the ball to start the second half.
And we've seen them be situationally great. Remember a couple weeks ago scoring right before the half.
Nifty move there by Jason Brown to avoid the flag pull. So that's going to set up first and goal at the 20.
And we've seen this a couple times out of Fighting Cancer. Their guys having the ability to make some of those Godspeed guys miss flags. We haven't seen it on the other side where Godspeed makes a miss. Look at that dip, kind of sidestep. Those yards are going to add up, and it's going to be a huge play at some point.
First and goal at the 20 for Fighting Cancer. The handoff is not exchanged, so that kills the play. Dan, let's take a look at some of the terminology used in regards to flag football.
Yeah, a little bit of a unique. We've talked about the throw-off. Like an old school kid thing, if you lose, you walk. Winners talk, losers walk, but there's a belt show where you try to get people your belt, make them shoot their hands, and then make them miss. And we've talked about Terrence Bunting and the dip king. Dropping low, making that target be a little bit lower than guys are used to.
So with 1:18 to go, Godspeed calls a timeout. So on a handoff like that,
we got blitzes, so you got to use them. So both y'all got to.
the play is dead, but where the ball hits the ground is where it counts. So they actually wound up losing 6 yards on that play.
And this is the code they've got to crack down here. Coming into this game, they were 11 of 13 in red zone opportunities the last 3 weeks. They're 0 for 2 today. They've been unsuccessful today as many times as they've been in the first 3 weeks of this tournament.
Come on, Housh.
Second and goal. Housh to Brown, and the flag gets pulled.
What's that?
Josh Wilson a little shaken up on that flag pull. Third and goal from the 10 in a scoreless first half.
At some point, Godspeed's going to have to use that last blitz that they've got on Housh here. One of these 2 plays, do you save it for 4th down? Do you try to pull your trigger here on 3rd?
They don't carry over to the second half. Housh is going to run with it. Look at the moves by Housh, throws the lateral, and Housh is in.
This is a ridiculous move right here. Oh, I mean, that's getting a guy who played in a long time in the NFL Forsett off his balance, and Housh hanging out there for the lateral. Those are those little things about this league that Fighting Cancer is so good at. Housh is so special.
Okay, but was this a forward lateral by Housh to Carmouche. We'll take a look at it again.
I think it's backwards. I think that touchdown stands.
A 97-yard drive for Fighting Cancer.
It's got to stand with a move like that. Joe Hunza.
The play on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Bob, we mentioned it. 2 weeks ago, they scored on the last play of the half. No time left, and now, again, 22 seconds. Execution, situational execution, really good for Fighting Cancer.
So they put the ball on the 5. Any attempt for an extra point from the 5 is worth 1 point. From the 10, it's worth 2. From the 20, it's worth 3. And they get the ball to start the second half. And they get the conversion to Carmouche. Carmouche scored the touchdown. He gets the extra point. Housh working his magic. And Fighting Cancer with $1 million winner-take-all tonight. Up 7-0.
Just appreciate how athletic this guy is. Flag is the place for him. He's not big enough to play in the NFL, but watch him move. And then the awareness, knowing Carmouche is out there to kick him the ball. And a huge touchdown like we've talked about. Special athlete.
Josh Wilson getting into it with Housh. Housh got the last laugh. So we talked before the game about pressure points. And you thought that the pressure was on Fighting Cancer because they're the flag guys.
Than that. If y'all want to tackle, y'all got to hit harder than that. You got to hit harder than that. That don't work.
Housh trying to egg him on a little bit, but now Godspeed's got to feel some real heat because Fighting Cancer gets the ball to start the second half.
One of the things that stood out with Housh over the past couple weeks is just this killer instinct that he's got, and it feeds off to the whole team, and you're seeing the emotion right there.
Davis again throws it through the back of the end zone for a touchback. So Josh Wilson decided to not pull the flag, decided to throw a shoulder in there. And that hurt because he had to sit out 2 plays, and then Housh got right in his face.
Hey, come on, we can go inside.
And this Fighting Cancer team not backing down. This is their world.
100%.
And with a running clock in the first half, that's how the first half ends. So Davis throws it out of the back of the end zone, and Godspeed doesn't get a chance to run another offensive play. Winner take all, $1 million tonight. Fighting Cancer out of New Orleans. They've lost 1 game in the last 5 years, going against a team of former NFL stars and Olympic track stars. Yeah, Lavelle Hawkins got an early interception. Job at best doing his thing. Fighting Cancer with the tremendous defense, turning Godspeed away. And Charles Carmouche with the game's only touchdown. Fighting Cancer in front. Back in Houston, Texas, halftime presented by LG. Fighting Cancer out of New Orleans with a 7-0 lead over Godspeed. American Flag Football League halftime show presented by LG. Dan, pretty interesting first half. Godspeed moved the ball, but they were stopped in the red zone, and defense really was the order of that first half.
It's interesting. This game is really built on offense. 7-on-7 is an offensive drill a lot of times, but the defense have played really well. They've given up some yards, but especially down in the red zone, they've been locked down.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the defensive plays. Early in this game, Godspeed gets an early turnover. Lavelle Hawkins with an interception, but really played good, sound defense.
Yeah, Davis was being a little bit aggressive. They played a little bit of a unique coverage, Godspeed, there for an interception, but we've seen these defensive backs for Godspeed again show up. Alan Ball coming over there for a tip, and then Fighting Cancer's secondaries played really well. We talked about this during the game, passing off of that coverage, making Seneca make basically a perfect throw. Both defenses have stayed up showed up. Jason Brown here on a deep ball, knocked away for a job at best. It's been a defensive battle right away.
Time to take a look at the Bud Light player comparison, and we take a look at both quarterbacks, and Darrell Doucette got it going as the half wore on.
He definitely settled in, and I like the fact that they put him back at just his natural position playing quarterback, and we saw the special play at the end of the first half. Seneca started off slow. He'll get going.
It's going to be interesting to see what adjustments have to be made. Fighting cancer, as they are accustomed to doing, scoring late in the half. Watch Darrell Doucette just shake and bake, lateral it to Charles Camouche, the game's only score. $1 million to the winner tonight. We're halfway home. Fighting cancer with a 7-0 lead over Godspeed.
All the way to the top I climb, and I'm never gonna quit till I get what's mine.
Back in Houston, Fighting Cancer out of New Orleans. One loss in the last 5 years, leading Godspeed 7-0 at halftime. And our halftime show presented by LG. Winner take all $1 million tonight, Fighting Cancer with the lead as we send it down to Kay.
I am here with the winning quarterback so far, Housh to Carmouche. That's been a connection this entire time. How do you describe you two?
He dropped the pass. Ain't no connection right now, but we're going to get it together.
It's been a really physical game. Are you used to this kind of physicality?
Oh, most definitely. We might not play tackle in this flag, but we used to the contact. They got to hit harder than that.
Do you think they're calling the wrong team the pros?
Of course. We need some real pros out here. They has been. We need some real pros.
$1 million on the line. I asked your dad before the game, what do you want from your son if he wins this? Guess what he said?
What?
He said he doesn't. You don't owe him anything. He's happy to be here and support you. Shout out to your dad, yeah?
Love you.
All right, guys, back to you.
Ooh, and the trash talking continues. You know, despite all the trash talking, we should point out Fighting Cancer out of Louisiana. One of the reasons why they have the name of their team, because so many members of their team have lost loved ones to cancer, and they have used this platform, Flag Football, to honor the memory of those family members who they lost to cancer.
And it's incredible to hear them talk about that team name. It's not just a name for them. It's very much so an embodiment. This $1 million is going to have a significant impact on their support for Fighting Cancer.
Fighting Cancer will receive the football on the throw-off to start the second half. T.J. Glover, Robert Hollywood Myers, back deep. Avant with the throw. Oh, and it's dropped at the 1. And that's where Fighting Cancer will start. So on the throw-off, the ball is dropped at the 1-yard line. You got to get 25-yard increments in order to get a first down.
But on this throw-off, since it's dropped at the 1, they've got to go to the 50-yard line to get a first down.
That's all right. That's all right. Let's do it the same fucking thing. Let's go with the same thing. Stay digging inside. What we got? Go up.
That's a huge drop on a throw-off situation.
They got to get 48 yards in 4 downs. Davis to Carmouche. And is this going to be defensive holding? You cannot pull the jersey. There are the shirts that Fighting Cancer wear, and all the numbers, the ages of loved ones who have lost family members, and they pay tribute to those by their team name. So because of the defensive holding penalty, meaning you cannot slow down an offensive player by pulling the jersey, it went from 1st and 48 to now 1st down and 6 for Fighting Cancer because of the penalty on Godspeed there.
It's one of those little things we keep harping on. That's why these amateur teams were so confident.
And that's a go clock violation.
Go clock violation. regulation. That's
You
an
have 4
incomplete
seconds
pass.
to get a pass
Second
play
down.
off. So some mistakes by Godspeed. We've seen it. Not understanding the rules. They had a false start on an offensive position. Those little things, I mean, change all kinds of field position.
It's huge. And it'll be interesting because the Fighting Cancer expect to go into halftime with the lead. They've come out, fumbled the kickoff. Now we get a 4-second violation. Can they handle this pressure of being in this situation?
But Godspeed bailed them out with the holding penalty. Housh tried to lateral it, but he got across the 25-yard line, so he gets a first down.
Yes, I can. They said the first was the.
That's the second blitz by the defense. They'll have 3 remaining in regulation.
Hey, you gotta see him. I'm telling you.
And that's the second blitz for Godspeed to start this second half defensively, so maybe that's a halftime adjustment. Let's put a little pressure on Housh right away. So now we're at 3rd and 25 here, having to get this first down because it's coming off a throw-off.
Housh takes it across midfield. Gain of 25.
And Hawkins playing the corner down into the boundary, just too soft. He's off almost 25 yards of Carmouche, and it gives him a running start. And then Carmouche able to get just enough past that 50-yard line. That's a huge, huge start to the second half to gain those 48 yards on that opening drive.
Well, that defensive penalty was a huge factor
Gave
in
him
all
that
of
free
it.
play, yeah.
So he blitzes.
Carmouche. Flag pulled at the 24 by Hawkins. Well, who said we were going to go back to that play? And you said it too, Dan, and they have.
Well, it's interesting because down into the left sideline where these past couple completions that Carmouche have been, it's Justin Forsett and Lavelle Hawkins. Yes, they're NFL pros, but they were offensive guys. And so maybe Fighting Cancer's going, listen, they got 2 offensive guys playing defense. They don't really know how to play defense. Let's go attack that side of the field. You'll see it from the reverse angle here. Look at how soft those guys are. Forsett's kind of no man's land. They're going to go attack those offensive guys, see if they can actually play some defense.
And the strategy of Davis taking the snap and then handing it to Housh turns off the go clock. And Housh can run with it if he wants. Lateral hits the ground intended for Myers.
But if you're Fighting Cancer, you're okay with that because the lateral it's that home run play that's going to come up. So the lateral hitting the ground, it's a dead play. I like the fact that they're using that.
You're making a hard lateral. Come on. Slow it down some.
Yeah, you got to slow down just a little bit, right?
That's what I'm throwing to. Come on.
But the other thing that's working is the snap going to Davis and the handoff to Housh turns it off, but then he can run with it.
Yeah,
because it's a handoff. They're not lateraling it back to him. It's a handoff. So he can just run. Catch me if you can. Wilson pulls the flag at the 2.
Coming into the game, I had feelings or a thought that Housh still may be the most electric guy on the field, and it's showing right now. He's got 7 carries right now for probably about 60 yards, 55, 60 yards. He's the best player on the field. He can't be stopped right now. 7 carries for 56 yards.
And Fighting Cancer is going to take a timeout. It's really interesting because they've changed their profile for $1 million going against a team of professionals. And they're putting the ball in Housh's hand as a runner first.
It's brilliant. He's the best player on the field.
No, he didn't pass the hash. I can substitute. No. If you pass the hash mark, it's considered the hunt. Yeah. It was close. Yeah, it was close. All right, look. Get it together now. Both of them. Get it together now. Look, I'll tell you what. What it is? Come on, let's go. Let's go. I'd say run that.
Get over here. TB, front G. Come on, B. Drag it. Straight to the back, D. No, curl it. They rushing.
3rd and goal. Fighting Cancer up 7. Through the hands of Housh. Good coverage on the play. So a 4th down play coming up that's going to be huge. Oh, a guy who knew how to throw it around a little bit, Trent Guilford. Watching the American Flag Football League Ultimate Final. He likes the poise of Fighting Cancer. That's right, man. You can't commit those penalties. Godspeed needs to stop.
And it's just like any level of football. Do the little things. Don't beat yourselves. Right now, Fighting Cancer in their world, on 7-on-7 flag, they're doing it.
Come on, Coach. I got it.
Davis gives it to Housh. Housh for the touchdown to Brandon McCray.
On the play, the defense splits. That was their 3rd of the half. They'll have 2 remaining.
How about that for Fighting Cancer?
The offense has elected to go for a 1-point try from the 5-yard line.
But nobody there. They commit to me. Come with me. Come with me.
20.
Hey, go, front G. That bitch might come.
They're going to go for 1.
Highlight corner was. Out here.
How about Housh and McCray? Get a gift.
Put it on stage for the whole country to see.
Pass knocked away by Hawkins.
Defense splits. That's their 4th. They'll have 1 remaining.
Not sure if I was Godspeed, I would use a blitz on the extra point. Let's take a look at the touchdown again. And again, they make Housh a runner, and then
look at the point.
To stop me.
Look at the point. Seeing the whole field, and McCray, the stat sheet stuffer coming across the back end line. But we've raved about Housh's athleticism tonight. Both these touchdowns have also taken really unique awareness. One, knowing where a guy was behind him, and then one, look how far behind the play McCray is right here. Yet Housh still sees him, the open part of the field, and gets him the ball. That's a 98 and a 97-yard drive for both their touchdowns tonight.
Multiple flags on the throw-off, and Godspeed now down 13-0.
Game time. There's only 6 out there. Who's that on? We only had 6 out there. We only had 6 out there.
We only had 6, so it should be a flag, right?
We did not.
Who did what?
He said the coaches are.
It's never a good sign when you start begging for calls. So
the receiving team had too many men on the field. Penalty has been declined. They'll take over at the spot.
You run the shallow. Outside guy has to go.
Crazy out here, man.
Hawk, you over here.
You got to think if you're Godspeed at some point, you've got this world-class speed. Jacoby Jones, Javid Best. That ball's got to go downfield, see if you can get a quick strike.
You're getting shut out. Nice move by Jason Avant. You know, this Fighting Cancer team have only lost 1 game in the last 5 years. They are dominant in 7-on-7 ball, and they are showing that tonight against this collection of professionals.
And the only loss they had was to Darius Davis's team, and they said, we need you with us. And he's had huge impact for them throughout this tournament.
Forsett. Housh missed the flag. They still miss it. Forsett. This will be a 7-point touchdown if it stands. There are flags on the play. Did Forsett flag guard?
That should have happened, dog.
Flag guarding, offense.
That's going to turn this into 4th down now.
4th down to the 50.
You'll see it right here with this left hand. Yep, that's stiff arm. That's a natural instinct for these NFL guys. And you see the penalty having such impact because it would have been 3rd down, but with the flag guard, it's a penalty and loss of down, now making this 4th down for the Godspeed offense.
Here we go, here we go. Trips left. Let's go. Trips right, search. Trips right, search. Trips right, search. Huh? Trips right. Yo.
And for our folks at home, you hear Seneca say trips right, search. He's going to talk to Avant, and he's basically giving Avant the right of way. Listen, you go find a way to get open, whether it's an out route, in route, sit, in some capacity.
They blitz. Wow. What a catch by Avant for the 1st down on 4th and 4.
We have a 1st down to the 25.
Obviously a huge conversion, but Avant doing a nice job of getting inside leverage. Seneca with a really good ball placement, and Avant with big, strong hands to make that crucial catch.
Hey, right there, right there.
Javid Best been a little quiet since the opening drive.
I want them to push the ball downfield, make these fighting cancer guys play a ball downfield in the air.
There you go. But good coverage by DeAndre Franklin on Jacoby Jones.
They both, Jacoby and Javid Best, both are going to run corners and goes, trying to get double moves. Franklin doing a really good job of staying on top of Jacoby. That's what you want to do in the open field as a DB, and locating the ball.
If you don't win, you win. You got the post stop. You hear me? You. Javid, come here. I want a deep post stop. If you don't win on the post, if you can't
bring the mic to him.
Huh? Come on, let's go. No, he's outside. Relax.
You got to love the composure out of Seneca. Kind of coordinating everything, keeping his team even keeled.
Right there, bud.
Drop by Avant.
Come on.
3rd and 23 coming up for Godspeed.
This is a rare thing. Avant is so sure-handed, but you could almost feel this momentum right now. Feel this energy from the Fighting Cancer team of we're so close. Godspeed being a little bit shaky.
Push it as deep as you can. You got to break away. Trips right, search. You got to shallow cross. Yeah. Right here. You right there in the slot.
And the rushing yards have been huge with Housh Doucette for Fighting Cancer.
Watch him.
They blitz.
Good.
Avant with the catch.
That's a blitz, huh? Wait, 15. Here we go.
Good use of the blitz right there by Fighting Cancer, forcing that ball to Seneca. Don't let him sit back there. And now we've got a 4th down. They got to go get 15 yards.
We got to get it. Number 6.
Seneca doing a good job seeing the blitz, getting it out. Does Avant get both feet down for the catch? Yeah, that's a good catch.
4th and 15. They bring the blitz. Wallace can't avoid the pressure from Nathaniel Brown.
Defense blitzed on the play. We have a turnover on downs. We have immediate timeout.
Nathaniel Brown leads this team in sacks, doing the dirty work.
Momentum running. Fighting Cancer's way. Nathaniel Brown, the New Orleans native, with the pressure. Fighting Cancer back on offense, up 13. American Flag Football League presented by LG. Gorgeous night here in Houston with $1 million on the line. Fighting Cancer with a 13-0 lead over Godspeed, a team made up of former NFL players and track stars. And look at Jason Brown getting into it with Seneca Wallace. Now, you know, a lot of guys around the NFL are checking it out. Ben Watson saying, come on, pros, get going. Let's send it down to Kay with a friend of Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah, some current NFL players watching at home, but some showed up. I am here with friend of Dan Orlovsky, favorite on Good Morning Football, shutdown corner, Detroit Lions, Darius Slay. What brings you here?
Oh, man, just support some of my guys, man, I play with. Dig Hedabo, Charles, Josh Wilson, guys I play with a long time in this league, and just come out here supporting.
I'm seeing you here on the sidelines. They're down. You got to speak to them. Give them a little pep talk right now.
Oh, man, they need to get right, though, but the quarterback's killing them. That's who's winning. They need to still what they're doing to come back in this game, but, there's another half to go. Got time. They still can make plays, so they can do it.
Darius, do you see yourself out here sometime?
Oh, yeah, of course. When I'm done with football, I can see myself doing this.
Okay, guys, back to you.
Well, I'll tell you what, Housh is putting on an absolute display. He takes the handoff. He's a threat to throw, and he's making world-class athletes miss.
Well, the thing is, when they hand it off, he's threatening, like you said, Bob, to throw, and it's forcing those DBs to slough off. They've got to play coverage, and it's just creating more of a cushion. He knows he's going to run. He's just baiting them to drop deeper.
Not bad. 5'8", 140 pounds wet. But the biggest man on the field tonight is Darrell Housh Doucette.
Fitting he's from New Orleans, a culture of people that are very prideful, love where they're from, and he's showing off for them tonight.
Oh, what a pass. Wide open in the middle of the field was T.J. Glover. And he's in for the touchdown. They missed the flagpole.
On the touchdown, the offense has elected to go for a one-point try for the 5-yard line.
That handoff has really put those second-level defenders for Godspeed, those linebacker-type guys, in such a bind. They don't know whether it's to come up and go after them or stay back in coverage. They go up, ball goes over the top for a touchdown.
Fighting cancer, proving right now why they are the best 7-on-7 flag team in the country. They've got a 19-0 lead over Godspeed.
And just Housh right there, scanning the field. He got Josh Wilson as a defender to jump up because the previous play, he runs, hits Glover for a laser across the middle. Glover does the finish. There you go again, missed flags. It's been a repetitive theme. Fighting Cancer said, you can't pull flags, you can't tackle.
They came up with the perfect fight plan, so to speak, in the sense that they changed their profile. And normally the snap would go to Housh, and he'd get things going and run the offense, but they realized by snapping the ball to Davis and then handing it off to Housh, not lateraling it, handing it to him, that he could just start running. And once he started running, he compromised the Godspeed defense.
There's nothing you could do defensively because Godspeed has nobody that can run with them. Even though they've got world-class speed, no one can run with them.
End zone.
Well, with $1 million on the line tonight, Housh is looking like a millionaire.
Look at this little celebration. These guys are having fun, and rightfully so.
242 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 81 yards rushing. And he has been the X factor.
Outside, Jacoby, outside.
He's done it all. He came into this game 44-66, and it's another huge night throwing the ball, and he's added the running on it.
Hey, you know what else he can do? He's bowled a whole bunch of 300 games in bowling. He carries a 228 average.
And now he's playing a little bit of corner. Leading into this game, he's got 10 flags, 2 sacks. Now he's playing a little bit of corner. He's got 4 flag pulls tonight already. So we want to talk about a guy that is impacted. Like I said, he's 44-66 coming into tonight. So right now he's sitting at 58-85, passing the ball for 13 touchdowns. He's got 14 flag pulls, 2 sacks in a 4-game tournament. Players over plays.
We're good.
Avant gets the flag pulled. That's another thing, right, with the pros. It's, you know, you got coaches yelling at you if you're looking to pitch it. You notice anytime there's a catch, they're not even thinking of a lateral and maybe breaking somebody.
Absolutely. I mean, if you pitch it in the NFL, you get cut. You're gone. And so we've seen some of the things that are instinct for the Godspeed team, the flag guarding, the stiff arm, the not using the lateral, hold them back, which we thought would be the case.
Again, the winning team tonight, winner take all, $1 million, and Fighting Cancer leading a team of former NFL stars 19-0. Javid Best gets the flag pulled by Jason Brown.
If you're Fighting Cancer, you're playing defense right now, staring up at this clock because the scoring system, it's still only a 2-possession game. You can get a 10-point touchdown with a 7-point touchdown, a 3-point conversion, and it's a 1-possession game. So you still got to lock in if you're Fighting Cancer on defense.
Any touchdown scored over 50 yards is worth 7 points. 50 and in is worth 6.
He coming right there, Hawk.
4th and 10. Blitz. And Hawkins gets away. Who's chasing him? And he pulls the flag out at the 4, saving a 7-point touchdown.
And look at the emotion from Housh. He knows how big a play that was to shut down that 7-point touchdown.
The defense blitzed on the play. That was their 4th. They'll have 1 remaining. 1 and goal.
We've got Ben Watson watching tonight. He sent out a tweet. Remember that play he runs down on that interception from Champ Bailey? Housh comes from the angle here and shows electric speed to shut that play down.
Wallace intercepted. They lateral it. Fighting Cancer taking it to Godspeed. Dominant. Touchdown. Robert Hollywood Myers.
By rule, the play was more than 50 yards. That's a 7-point play.
So Housh stops a 7-point touchdown. And on the next play, Fighting Cancer with the pick 7. Wow.
Unbelievable effort by the whole Fighting Cancer team. What a swing of events. That's a 14-point swing in 2 plays. And then the awareness off the pick to kick the lateral.
Yeah, Harry Coleman got the pick and then pitched it to Hollywood Myers. McCray at quarterback. Extra point, no good. So, Godspeed, trailing 19-0, nearly had a 7-point touchdown, but Housh saves the day. And then on the very next play, Seneca Wallace, picked off by former LSU defensive back Harry Coleman. That's right, you can lateral them. And Hollywood takes it the distance. Robert Myers with the huge touchdown. American Flag Football League presented by LG here in Houston. Robert Hollywood Myers with the interception return off the lateral for a touchdown and the backflip in. Darrell Doucette on fire. Ocho Cinco had a team and he got beaten by Godspeed. Loving what he's seeing out of Fighting Cancer. Trent Dilfer said next year every pro team is going to have to throw out their playbooks and study this Fighting Cancer team's tactics. Down to K.
Thanks, guys. I hope you're secure with your jobs because I'm here with a guy who actually wants to take both Dan and Bob's, the play-by-play, the color commentary out of Michael Vick. Come get your boys. What's happening out here?
Yeah, you know what? These guys are good, man, and you know, Godspeed is really good, but the competition got really stiff tonight.
What do they need to do to at least put something on the board? They cannot not score.
Well, I think Godspeed had their opportunities. You know, just in football, sometimes things have to be well synchronized, and when it's not, you know, it can get tough. But man, we got to put one possession together. Had some opportunities in the red zone, but you know, I don't know what Fighting Cancer did.
You played this game. You got eliminated yourself. Explain to viewers out there how hard it is to pull flags, to defend, even just the rules being different from the NFL.
It's a different game, and you know, the thing is that the more I watch it, the more excited I become about it and the future of it. You know, you have to be able to pull flags. You have to be able to play within the rules of the game, and if not, you're gonna get beat.
And how impressed are you with Housh and Fighting Cancer?
Oh man, Housh is phenomenal, man. He did some moves that I don't think me or Deshaun Watson could have done. So he has the ultimate skill, and this is definitely his game.
They're very close, couple minutes away here from winning $1 million. Guys, back to you.
You know, Darrell, Doucette, when we first met him a couple of weeks ago in Pittsburgh, and every guy that we talked to from the flag football players said, we will beat the pros. And the analogy we got was fantastic from one of the players. And he said, look, Roger Federer is the greatest tennis player on the planet. If you give him a paddle and a ball and a net and put him on a ping pong table, he might be great at it, but he's not going to be the best in the world at table tennis. And although these guys are accomplished NFL players, the art of the game has been taken to them tonight by Fighting Cancer.
Absolutely, and this Fighting Cancer team has been waiting for this game for a long time. They told us the story that they saw one of the pro teams a couple months ago and walked up to them and challenged them for $100,000. They were that confident. They've been waiting for this moment, and credit them for taking advantage of it.
Wallace completes it to Best. Flag gets pulled at the 41-yard line by Nate Webster.
And that confidence you're talking about, Bob, at first we were like, wait, are you guys serious? And they looked us straight in the eye and said they've got no shot against us.
You know, and these are guys that play football, flag football, truly for the love of the game. They barnstorm, they call each other up. Hey, there's a tournament in Louisiana. There's one in Alabama. There's one in Florida. Let's get going. They all meet there, and they'll play 6-7 games over the weekend for a grand prize of a championship t-shirt, or maybe $1,000 or $2,000 that they split up. Now they're in this tournament, and they've worked their way through 128 teams, and they're on the verge of splitting $1 million amongst the 12 of them.
It's really remarkable. I mean, this is life-changing money for these guys, and we just saw Housh talking to Vel Hawkins saying, you guys respect our game. Respect our game. Well, they've earned it tonight.
A quiet night for Justin Forsett as he gets the first down. And, you know, we talk about the Fighting Cancer players. Jason Brown's a middle school teacher. Brandon McCray played a bunch of semi-pro ball. Darius Davis teaches middle school social studies. DeAndre Franklin works construction and arrests people for jumping in the bond. I mean, these are just hard-working guys that love the game and this version of it. What a play by McCray. And obviously, $1 million goes to the winner and the Ultimate Champions trophy. But it's more about the money, obviously, is a huge component, but it's also about validating their game.
Yeah, there is a flag community in this country, and it is a growing game. And Fighting Cancer was charged with the role of representing that game tonight. And they've done it glowingly. Glowingly.
Wallace to Avant for the touchdown, and Godspeed gets on the board. So they're going to put the ball at the 20-yard line and go for a three-point conversion.
Three-point try.
77-yard drive in 6 plays for Seneca Wallace.
Listen, come on. You got to run. They're going to be soft. So what we're going to do is I got to send double posts down the middle, all right? And inside, you got to run it, bang it, and then sit it right in there. If I can bang a post on the seam, just run. All right? Double post outside. Come on, double post. You got to go route right up the seam. Left side, Jeremy, left side.
Just imagine what this does for this flag game. You're going to have guys from all over the America's brackets type, the everyday Joes, wanting to put teams together for the opportunity to win a purse like this.
Intercepted by McCray on the conversion. Works the lateral, and the flag is finally pulled. Nate Webster was thinking about adding some more points for fighting cancer. Earlier today, participants from local Houston NFL flag leagues accompanied members of Godspeed as they were announced for player introductions. A great way to kick off the upcoming fall season. To find an NFL flag league near you, visit playfootball.com. Let's play football.
Down counts.
And I think, you think about next year, and these teams of former NFL players are going to have to really study the art of flag.
Absolutely, and I think there's going to be a lot of pros, ex-pros that might be done with the NFL, are trying to get back into the league. They're going to want to get a team together, earn some of this money, and learn those details.
So there is no kicking. So the American Flag Football League's version of an onside kick is they put the ball on the 25-yard line, and they have one play to get 25 yards. If they don't, fighting cancer gets the ball back. That interception Wallace threw that went for 7 points the other way, his first interception here in the tournament. Now fighting cancer will call a timeout.
Look, man, I know y'all all upset.
Defense. That's their second time out of the half. They'll have one remaining.
Win this goddamn game, and it ain't over.
NFL Total Access. Stay tuned for all the latest news and updates from around the National Football League. NFL Total Access live right after the game. Teams have already reported to camp, like Baltimore, because they're playing in the Hall of Fame game against Chicago this weekend. Rookies start reporting around the National Football League, and then most teams open up camp next week, and NFL Network will have you covered from head to toe of all 32 teams in the National Football League. You don't miss it, though, bro.
The most exciting time of the year. No, I do not miss having to go to camp this year, but I'm super excited to get camp going for all these teams and get into football season.
So they've got to get 25 yards on this one play. Avant's pitch hits the ground, and fighting cancer
their fifth and final blitz of regulation.
Will take over. It's time for our LG star of the game, and it's one guy, Darrell Housh Doucette. So, fighting cancer getting on the bus, and everybody kind of videos and stuff like that. So where's your best player? Why, you put him in the trunk? But you know what? He's small in stature, but big on the playing field.
And they got him here, and you see the electric athleticism, the awareness to kick it lateral to Carmouche. And there's just nobody on the field that can hang with them. He's running away from everybody, chasing down Hawkins. We know how big of a flag pull that was with the turn of events. And then the celebration. He came and told us his nickname was after TJ Houshmandzadeh. Well, listen, Darrell Housh Doucette, I think you've earned the right to overtake that nickname now and have somebody else take it from you.
And this change in their offensive strategy has been huge as he runs the ball and then pitches it. Because it wasn't a lateral, because it was a handoff, it has totally destroyed Godspeed's defensive plan. And they hadn't seen Fighting Cancer do that before.
I had asked them before the game, to Godspeed, who's your plan for Housh? And they said, no one. We're just going to play our game. And obviously, you better have a plan for the guy who's the best player on the field. And like you said, that unique handoff kill the go clock has been a huge advantage.
Bill Belichick would have disapproved of Godspeed's plan. What does he always try to do? Take away the best player.
Flag pull by the offense. Therefore, we have an inadvertent whistle. It will be the result of the play.
And you've got to be so happy. If you're a sports fan, if you're an underdog fan, if you're rooting for the small guy, you've got to be so happy for fighting cancer. Bob, like you had said, these are everyday guys. And now they're going to get life-changing money. This $1 million prize is life-changing for them. And they're also going to be able to make an impact for fighting cancer.
Housh.
Come on.
Well, not that time. They finally get his flag pulled. Jaron Solomon pulled the flag.
Even when he gets his flag pulled, it's exciting.
Therefore, we have
Willie McGinn is shooting out a tweet. As I predicted, the true pros of the AFFL are the Joes. Taking a shot at some of his ex-NFL members. But a lot of us felt that way. A lot of us, after watching these teams, especially fighting cancer, said, this team's going to be hard to beat no matter what NFL guys or ex-NFL guys are on the field.
TJ Glover's like, let's end this game. Give me that $1 million check.
Offense. That's their third and final timeout of regulation play.
That's what I'm saying. Let's go. We here. I'll take it off. Don't catch me. I keep looking down. Oh, you give it to him. You can still give it to him. I'm a nail it.
Everybody gotta give me that jersey.
See Darius Davis, number 4, who's taken the direct snap tonight. His brother Darrell died of cancer on May the 9th. So many of these players on fighting cancer playing for a greater cause. Darius on the only team that has beaten fighting cancer in the last 5 years. They signed him, and he has been an integral part of what they do. Fighting cancer has earned $1 million with a 26-6 win over Godspeed.
Fighting cancer earned the respect of the pros tonight. I can promise you that. They came here to earn it, and they got it.
And especially Darrell Housh Doucette. He might be 5'8", 149 pounds. But he played like a 7-footer tonight, towering over everybody on the field. He did it running, throwing, and on defense. Here in Houston, fighting cancer has earned $1 million. When we come back, the check presentation.
Flag Football League, U.S. Open of Football, is brought to you by Bud Light, America's favorite light lager.
Back in Houston in the ultimate final. Fighting cancer defeats Godspeed. And the postgame show is brought to you by LG. An incredible night. Fighting cancer representing all those flag football players all around the nation. Defeats a team of former NFL stars, Pro Bowlers, track stars. And nobody was better on the field than Darrell Housh Doucette, who was dominant. It's time to collect the money and the trophies. We send it down to Kay.
A lot of excitement here on the field. It is my pleasure to introduce and hand off the microphone to the founder, the CEO of AFFL, here to give away the big check to the winning team fighting cancer.
Thank you, Kay. Hey, everybody, how about fighting cancer? What do you think? Hey, guys.
This way, coach. This way,
Fighting
coach.
cancer, $1 million.
You know, it's amazing. They got handed a check for $1 million, but when the confetti went off, that's when the real emotion came out, because you see it during Super Bowls, right? The confetti comes out, the Lombardi trophy is being handed, and that moment hits you that you won. And it's almost like that confetti symbolizes championship.
And it's years and years of work. This isn't something that was put together overnight by this Fighting Cancer team. They do this every week. It's part of their lifestyles. And that confetti represents all the time they've put in to having the opportunity to earn, to win this $1 million.
This group out of New Orleans battled a field of 128 teams en route to winning and getting to this ultimate final. Fighting Cancer has earned the $1 million prize as they defeat Godspeed here in Houston. Nephew Johnson, the coach. And you could see the emotion of Nephew Johnson. Darius Davis logo. He's got the logo now of a champion. Back in Houston, Darrell, Housh, Doucette, and Darius Davis. The winning combination as Fighting Cancer earns $1 million in defeating Godspeed 26-6, the final score. Well, it was an emotional night here in Houston, Texas, but Housh was the brightest star as Fighting Cancer comes away with the victory. Total Access coming up next. You'll hear interviews from the winning team, Fighting Cancer, as they earned $1 million defeating Seneca Wallace and Godspeed. Lindsey Rhodes, Willie McGinnis, Maurice Jones-Drew, and their special guest, Buccaneers linebacker Cameron Lynch. What an emotional night it's been in Houston. Fighting Cancer wins $1 million. For our entire crew, Bob Papa saying so long